this motherfucking bag. Stand on the way I made. Sacrificing time for this shit, man, I got a plan. Tried to tell niggas years ago, they ain't understand. Riding by myself and it's cool, I'm all in my head. Everything in life you can't replace, I build relationships. Pretty little smile make a nigga wanna lock it in. We met the same time I lost a friend, we should try again. You been on my mind, you should hop in. I ain't gon' hurt you, baby girl, you know we locked in. Used to be on FaceTime calls on the regular. Never made time, landed on my busy schedule. Now every time I hit the bay, you know I think of you. Working on your brand, love, you know that I...
Hey, real quick, hey, winning's supposed to be fun. Winning's supposed to be fun. Why? You put all this hard work, effort into it, winning's supposed to be fun. We want you guys to celebrate. That's the way this locker room's going to feel every time we win.
Yes, sir.
Now we go. Congratulations, good win. Preseason's over. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay, enjoy it, okay? Again, some big decisions coming up. Love all you guys. Every single one of you guys. Love y'all. Okay? Let's pray.
And we are live. What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy, Henny DeMoore, reporting live from the liquor store, man. How's everybody doing? And listen, it might have been a little too early for y'all to get fully intoxicated earlier on in the day, man. Like, we went live, it wasn't even noon yet. So, you know, you were just chilling. You know, you were just laying around in bed. You didn't feel like getting up and drinking first thing in the morning. I understand it. I get it. I comprehend. But, man, it's 6:20 where I'm at right now. Meaning it's like 7:20 if you're on the East Coast. It's at least 4:20 if you're in California. You know, you're in Mountain Time. It's like 7:20 or some shit like that. What I'm trying to say is, man, it's time to slide into the liquor store, man. Y'all can get a little tipsy now. So come on in, get you a beverage, a refreshment. You know, grab your bottle, and we finna get drunk off this Dallas Cowboys content, man. But salute to everybody out there. Matt Badden, my brother JV B-Boy in the building. Todd Cowboys in the building. Los Altos in the building, man. What's good with y'all? Darren Sutton in the building. Darnell Lamar, the only Lamar I actually respect. You know, I ain't rocking with Kendrick like that. Salute to Thurston Howell in the building, man. So, yeah, y'all know the proper rules of engagement, man. When we hit this live button, y'all gonna have to hit that share button. Right? You gonna hit that share if you care. You gotta hit that like. You're gonna have to slap the fuck out of an Eagles fan because they probably deserve it. And you know, if you want to help keep the lights on in the liquor store, you know, you don't want there to be no going out of business signs or anything like that over here. You know what I'm saying? Hit that Cash App or hit that Super Chat. $ Henny DeMoore, or, you know, like I said, hit the Super Chat. We monetized. We beat our Rico. We ain't had to tell on nobody. So we back in full effect. But let's talk about it, man. We got a lot of news to discuss. We got a lot of stuff to cover. So, you know, we're going to hit the ground running, man. And, hey, Jared Jones, that's straight up and down, man. You owe Trey an apology. You owe Trevon Diggs an apology, man. I don't give a damn about none of that bullshit you was talking about, man. You owe Trey an apology right now because you were out here criticizing, overanalyzing his injury, acting like he wasn't rehabbing hard enough. But last time I checked, Brian Schottenheimer said Trevon Diggs is probably going to start the season on the 53-man roster. He probably going to start the season on the 53-man roster. Meaning, they don't even expect Trevon Diggs to miss 4 games. He might miss 1. He might miss 2. Might be pushing to even think he's going to miss 3. But Trevon Diggs is going to be back at the start of the season. And this is a man that just had a huge surgery on his knee. There was a man that had no cartilage in his knee. They had to take cartilage out of one part of his body and put it somewhere else. They had to take cartilage. I don't know where they took the damn cartilage from, but it was bone on bone in his knee, in the same knee that he tore his ACL in. And guess what? He is back. The Dallas Cowboys secondary, man. Listen, man. Like the disrespect that Jerry Jones was throwing out there to Trevon Diggs was some old baby back bullshit, man. Because you remember, not only were they talking about the injury itself, you know what I'm saying, and they talk about him not rehabbing. You know, Jerry Jones insinuated that he had buyer's remorse with Trevon Diggs. He insinuated that he shouldn't have paid him. Y'all don't remember that? Let me jog your memory.
A little bit. You've done deals though early with Trevon Diggs, with Terrence Steele before it was time for it. What's the difference between those situations and a situation like CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons?
Frankly, should we have waited on Diggs and Steele? Oh, you brought them up. I didn't.
Well, the other thing is the willingness. I mean, you have players.
Yeah, like I said, he out here insinuating, you know, they shouldn't even pay Trevon Diggs, man. He out here insinuating that he shouldn't even pay the boy Trey. And guess what? You know, that little rookie. And listen, I like Trevon Rebel, so I'm not gonna talk crazy about the young man. I think he'll have a good NFL career when he gets back fully healthy down the line and progress. You know what I'm talking about? Like I'm not gonna say anything bad about Trevon Rebel just because they out here trying to prop him up against Trey. But Trevon Rebel had a setback. Trevon Rebel is probably going to start on the PUP or start on IR and miss, you know, at least the first 4 games of the season, if not more. Trevon Diggs, who they criticized, you know, who they went out there and they insinuated his work ethic wasn't there, who they insinuated that they regret paying. He finna be back in action well before that other boy was, man. So this significantly, not only is this a victory lap, you know, for Trevon Diggs, but this is a huge win for the Dallas Cowboys secondary, man. This is a huge win for the Dallas Cowboys secondary, man. Dallas Cowboys, man. Hold on. Let me see something. Yeah, Dallas Cowboys, like, the cornerback position was a real concern before now. But think about this. By game 2 or game 3, you'll be able to go out there with Trevon Diggs, your all-pro corner. You'll have your other all-pro corner, Deron Bland. And then, you know, Elam, who's had a good camp, who's been pretty good up to this point, you can throw him out there as your third corner. It's a much different situation with Kaiir Elam as your third corner over Kaiir Elam being your second corner. Like, if that's the case, I feel way better about the Dallas Cowboys secondary going in. Because Trevon Diggs being back, that pushes down everybody on the depth chart. Deron Bland goes from being your number 1 corner to being your number 2 corner, back into his natural position. You know what I'm saying? Kaiir Elam goes from being your number 2 corner to your third corner, right? And now, if you want to, situationally, instead of shoehorning, you know, somebody like Childress into the slot position, you can have Diggs play on the outside, have Elam play on the outside, and move Deron Bland back into the slot situationally, right? So this is a huge win for Trevon Diggs, and it's a huge win for the Dallas Cowboys. He said Diggs in week 1 would be insane for us. Now listen, he is trying to make it back for week 1. There's no guarantee that he plays week 1. But Diggs said that he is going to play by week 2 or week 3. That's what Trevon Diggs himself said. In the offseason, he was targeting game 1. It looks like he's going to miss that mark by maybe a game or 2. But Trevon Diggs, you know, if he come back, he'll be able to play at least 15 games for you. He might be able to play 16 games for you. On the off chance that he has a really, really good practice and they want to push it, he might play the entire season. Like, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. It's just him playing week 1 is the least likely of all the possibilities. What I do know is they're not expecting him to miss 4 games. Right? They're not expecting Trevon Diggs to miss any real significant amount of time. And that's because he went out there and he attacked that rehab and he did what he did, man. If back week 2 or week 3, week 4 is fine. Yeah, listen, he'll be back before then. Because if they thought that he was going to miss at least the first 4 weeks, they would put him on IR. They would possibly put him on IR. Now they do a lot of finessing and finagling and shit like that, but right now, everything from what Trevon Diggs is acting like, from what Shotty is saying, he'll be back at the very beginning of the season. So, hey, anybody that was out there talking that shit, saying that Trevon Diggs was lazy, Trevon Diggs wasn't putting in the work, Trevon Diggs should have did this and that, I tell you what, he is ahead of the guy that was with their training staff. He's ahead of the guy that was working with their training staff. Trevon Diggs when he got his own folks, when he got his own people. You know what I'm saying? And he is going to be back before Siobhan Revel. That's all I really got to say about that shit. Landlord said, y'all ain't going to thank me. I sent that knee ligament ASAP priority mail. Listen, we're not going to thank you. You know, we're not going to thank you because you were supposed to have sent him the knee ligament last year. What Landlord was not going to tell nobody is Diggs ordered a knee ligament last year from Ligaments or Us, ran by Landlord Incorporated, and it got lost in transit. You made a big fuss about it. You know, you didn't refund his money. You ain't do none of that. You just so happened to find that you never actually sent the ligament the first time, and then you sent it over. So really, this entire thing is your fault, Landlord. This entire thing is your fault. So nah, JV, we ain't finna thank Landlord. He a shiesty ligament dealer. He should have been had that ligament to that man. He said, yeah, for real. For real. But, no, that's not the only updated information that we got on a injured Dallas Cowboy right now. That's not the only updated information that we got on the injured Dallas Cowboy at this moment. No, it's not snitching when it's human trafficking. We got a tail on you. I'm just saying. Yeah, Landlord had the damn knee ligament on back order. That's that man's fault. But if you look not at the top one, we're gonna touch on the top comment from Joseph Hart in just 2 seconds. But if you look down here, what Tommy Yarish had to say about what Schottenheimer said about Tyler Guyton. He said Tyler Guyton will be able to get on the grass. He's hoping that Tyler Guyton will be able to get on the grass and practice this coming week, and that he's trending in the right direction. Now, I'm not saying that Tyler Guyton will be back week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is if the Dallas Cowboys can play a majority of the season, and they get the opportunity to play a majority of the season, you know, with a Trevon Diggs and with Tyler Guyton, right, I feel a lot better about our chances. And it's trending towards Tyler Guyton maybe being able to be back by week 1. Because remember, the initial timeline had it around week 1 or week 2. You know, just depending on the severity and how he attacked rehab. They've been talking about he been rehabbing well, talking about he been putting in the work, the time and the effort to get back on track and get back out there. Right, so this lines up. Now, don't overdo it. You know what I'm saying? Don't rush him back. If he's not ready to go, you know what I'm saying? Don't do anything to jeopardize his actual season, because we dodged the bullet with him not having a torn ACL or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, move cautiously. You don't have to rush him back. But if there's no threat to re-injuring that knee, you know what I'm saying, and he can go out there and perform, and he can protect Dak Prescott and all this other stuff, get him back out there on the field. But the point is, we were looking at this like Trevon Diggs was going to miss a prolonged period of time. You know, once the initial report came out, we thought Tyler Guyton was possibly going to be gone for the entire year. Then, you know, they came back and they walked that shit back down. Right? So the Dallas Cowboys may be in a little bit better shape injury-wise than what people initially thought. He said, good night. Man, listen. I know that Tyler Guyton had an awful rookie campaign. There's no way to sugarcoat it or say anything else. It was not what you wanted to see, from your future starting left tackle. You know what I'm saying? That's not what you wanted to see from your future starting left tackle. Right? The tape he put out last year was not good. But from all the reports, he's put in the work. He's stronger. He's done leaned out. He done worked on his footwork and his hand placement. Like he was making leaps and bounds from what everybody was saying before we got injured. So if he is healthy, and that's the key caveat, I don't want him out there if he's hurt, right? But if he is healthy, and remember, the timeline that they gave put him back around week 1 and week 2. You know what I'm saying? Like it was close. It was very, very close. So if he is actually fully healthy and can go out there without the possibilities of having a setback, I am ready, to put Tyler Guyton out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to put Tyler Guyton out there because he needs the work. He needs the reps. Now listen, like I said, if he is healthy, let him play. And I'm just going to assume that he's healthy. He said we don't want Nate Thomas out there. I don't think anybody wants Nate out there. Even though I think he had a good camp, I think he's been playing good football. I think that Nate Thomas is a limited player. You know what I'm saying? I think he still needs time in the oven. But I think he's going to be a good reserve. If you have to go a game or two without Tyler Guyton, or if you got to go a couple series or a couple plays, I think he'll be able to fill in as a swing tackle pretty nicely. But one of the reasons why you really need Tyler Guyton out there and Tyler Guyton being healthy is your primary weapons. And I'm glad that you brought up CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, right? You're not going to be able to get them the football if you cannot hold up in pass pro. I don't want y'all to know that. If you cannot block and keep Dak Prescott upright, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens cannot get the football. So that's one of the real reasons why I want Tyler Guyton back. Even though he had his warts, even though he had his issues, you know what I'm saying? He is still the best tackle that you have. Hey, anytime, Chris. Anytime. And listen, if y'all appreciate the content, share it with somebody. You know what I'm saying? If you appreciate the content, just hit that share if you care, man. You can share it with another Cowboy fan. You can share it with an Eagle. You can share it with you can share it with a Commanders fan. I don't care who you share it with. Share the content. If you like the content and you appreciate the content, you can hit that share. And listen, it's almost Sunday. So if the Spirit has touched you and the Spirit has moved you and you want to support the liquor store, you can also hit that Cash App, man. You can hit the dollar. You can go to Cash App and hit $ Henny the Mo, and you can hit send. It could be 99 cents. It could be $1. It could be $5. You can send whatever. That also helps so we can go out and continue to go out and get content. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate y'all good folks, man. Infinity, what's up, man? My boy said, Henny, you and Landlord have been incredible this offseason, brother. Y'all are on fire. Listen, man, we are trying. We try to bring y'all great content. Shout out to Cowboys Convos. Shout out to Cowboys Uncut when we link up with the Big Brother West Coast. Shout out, to Boss Land because we turned that into a 3-man show. Shout out to the DC Universe show we be doing. We be trying to pump out content for y'all, man. And I'm glad that y'all appreciate it. Real talk. Yeah, T-Dub, the doors of the church is open. Those are the churches open, man. We're going to pass around the collection plate, man. We're going to pass around the collection plate. You can pay your tithes, And listen, this is the liquor store. So, if you donate, you can't get bottle service. It said Deuce looks the most shifty and explosive. He looked damn good yesterday, man. He looked damn good yesterday. I have nothing bad to say about Deuce Vaughn at this moment in time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing right now to say bad about Deuce Vaughn. He had a very good preseason game last night. I can't take nothing away from him. Do I think that the Atlanta Falcons are a good team or that they got good depth? No. But when you play an inferior opponent, you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do, and that's make them look inferior to you. And they did that. They did that with flying colors. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue, though, man. Let's continue. Because, I had directed y'all attention initially to the bottom part, what Tommy Yards has said. This is actually about the roster and competition and some guys, that impressed Shotty from this last preseason game. Hey, man. Listen, them little ass legs was moving, man. I don't know what happened. I don't know what he did, but, them little ass legs were actually working today. But in regards to what Brian Schottenheimer was talking, he said, watching the film from week 3, James Houston had a really good game. He also mentioned Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Brooks, Deuce Vaughn, Elijah Clark, Mike Smith, and Joe Milton. There was a lot of really good, consistent play. Now, I wholeheartedly agree with James Houston. Y'all know I said if James Houston don't make the 53-man roster, we gonna have to beat the fuck out of Shotty. And I like Shotty. But the plan is landlord is going to hold him down, and then I'm going to just punch him repeatedly. That's the plan. And if Land gets tired, we'll switch out. But we're going to have to jump about James Houston. Because James Houston has been the most consistent pass rusher, in preseason for the Dallas Cowboys. He might even be one of the most consistent pass rushers in all of preseason. I ain't checked the numbers, so don't hold me to that. But for what I have seen, he had been making plays out there, man. He had a sack yesterday, had some pressures. He was disruptive. He consistently stayed in the backfield, pushing the pocket. I like him, man. I like him a lot, and I'd be mad as hell, if the Dallas Cowboys ended up cutting James Houston at this point in time, man. Because I think he put in the work. And if you're talking about competing, Shotty, and somebody, even though he wasn't in the initial plans, and he's gone out here and he's grabbed his opportunity and he's taking the bull by the horn, so to speak. Since we Cowboys, we out here wrangling folks. You know what I'm saying? You should reward that. You can't preach compete every day and not reward the players that are winning said competitions. You cannot preach about competing every day and not reward the players that actually win out in these competitions, man. There should be no pre-selected starters. There should be no, penciled in and pre-selected roster spots. None of that shit. No favorites, no sons or bastards. Just fair, open competition for roster spots. Ryan Flournoy, I get. Now, I definitely would prefer, because I'm biased. I tell y'all the truth. I don't lie to y'all. I don't sugarcoat shit. You know what I'm saying? I ain't sugarcoating nothing. I prefer Trayshawn Holden over Ryan Flournoy. You know what I'm saying? I prefer him over Jalen Brooks. But to be fair, and I try to be fair, I try to be impartial. When I went out to practice in Frisco, Ryan Flournoy and Jalen Brooks made plays. When you watch the preseason game out there, Ryan Flournoy and Jalen Brooks made plays. So, can I say it's not fair to Trayshawn Holden when the guys ahead of him have made plays and they've been productive and they haven't shied away from competition? You know what I'm saying? Like, so even though I prefer Trayshawn Holden, even though I think he's better, even though I like his upside, his skill set, his pedigree, and all that shit, I could understand why, if it came down to it, I could understand why they might roll with Ryan Flournoy or Jalen Brooks. I almost threw up saying the shit, but I am fair. I am honest. I do understand why. Still wouldn't do it. I still would have Trayshawn Holden on this team, on this initial 53-man roster, but I get it. Because Ryan Flournoy played, and he played well. Matter of fact, I believe Ryan Flournoy might be the Dallas Cowboys' leading receiver in preseason. I think he just might, man. Let me go look. Let me double check. All right, so far Ryan Flournoy on 13 targets had 7 catches for 92 yards, averaged 13.1 yards reception, and a longer 23. So to be fair, Ryan Flournoy has had a pretty damn good, he's had a pretty damn good preseason. So I can't be mad if they did it. Like I said, I'm on record. I want Trayshawn Holden. But in fairness to the same competition I'm talking about, the guy that has been more consistent in preseason might get the edge. And I think that's fair. Not what I want, but it's fair. Now listen, Queso, we're going to talk about the possibility of trading Jalen Tolbert in just 2 seconds. That's actually one of the things in the title. So we're going to talk about possibly moving Jalen Tolbert. I wasn't studying it, when the rumors and shit was floating around the last time. You know what I'm saying? But now's a good time to actually talk about it. Because we're finna be on the verge of cut downs. We got a lot of real deal decisions to make about who we want to carry into the season for week 1. You know what I'm saying? So we need to entertain it. If we feel in our hearts of hearts that Jalen Tolbert will not get a second contract as a Dallas Cowboy, because everybody tells me you do not give wide receiver 3s second contracts, right? You just draft a replacement. Well, if that is the case, Jalen Tolbert is in the final year of his deal. Jalen Tolbert has not became a wide receiver 2. Jalen Tolbert is still a wide receiver 3, maybe on this team a wide receiver 4, depending on how you view Cavante Turpin. Because of that, we have to actually humor the idea, should the Dallas Cowboys consider trading Jalen Tolbert? And for all of the reasons I gave, he has not taken the next step, in becoming a wide receiver 2. He's on an expiring contract, and the Dallas Cowboys do not believe, I do not believe the Dallas Cowboys will be giving him a second one. Right? Because of those things, and him having a little bit of trade value, you might be able to finagle something, ship Tolbert out, and get something in return. The reason I believe there's a real deal possibility of finding a trade partner for Jalen Tolbert is because of a trade that happened like last week. So this was not Dallas Cowboys related, but it does relate into the thought process of moving on from a Jalen Tolbert and acquiring something worth value for him. Now, the Broncos, and listen, it might not even been last week. It might have been a couple days ago. This is a fairly recent trade. The Broncos traded Devon Valley to the Saints, right, for a 4th-round pick and a 7th-round pick. Now, y'all might be like, who the fuck is Valley? Right? That's probably what y'all thought, when we threw that out there. Like, who the fuck is this Valley boy? Valley is going to be 28 years old in December. He was a 27-year-old rookie last year. You know what I'm saying? And his production was not nearly as good as Jalen Tolbert's. So if you look here, matter of fact, yeah, he'll be 28 in December. So he'll be 28 in December. So if you look at here, Valley only had 41 catches for 475 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's 27 years old. He did not have 500 yards receiving. He only had 3 touchdowns. Jalen Tolbert is younger than this boy. Jalen Tolbert won't even be 27 until February of next year. And last year, Jalen Tolbert on 79 targets had 49 catches. He had 610 yards, and he had 7 touchdowns. So, and listen, that is a very good point, K. So, the Saints fucking suck. The Saints suck at negotiating. They suck at team building. They're awful. You know what I'm saying? But there is something we got to remember. There is a fool born every day. You can find somebody to finesse. You can find somebody to get over on. You can find somebody, you know what I'm saying, that will take Jalen Tolbert off of you and give you something, in return. And you can make the argument, sure, Devon is a better chess piece because of his size. He's 6'5". But in terms of age and production, you know what I'm saying, Jalen Tolbert actually has the edge there. So maybe a quarterback, a wide receiver needy team. I think y'all mentioned the Patriots earlier. See if the Patriots want to take Jalen Tolbert off your hands. See if what's another team that needs wide receiver help? Maybe the Tennessee Titans. Maybe somebody gets nicked and they're going to the season injured at the wide receiver position and wouldn't mind. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because the Bucs are going to have a whole bunch of guys on IR to start the season. I think Chris Godwin is going to miss some time. I believe they also said that McMillan is going to miss like half the season. So maybe one of these teams with injuries will be able to take Jalen Tolbert off your hands for something. Falcons maybe. And listen, maybe you don't get a player, right? Maybe they don't want to get a player, but the assets you get from Jalen Tolbert, you could turn that into a player. Let's say you get a 5th-round pick for Jalen Tolbert. Let's say you're able to move Jalen Tolbert for a 5th. You could turn around with that 5th and maybe one of your 6th-round picks and package that for a veteran defensive tackle or package that for the running back you want, right? So even if you can't get the player outright for Jalen Tolbert, you might be able to flip what you get for Jalen Tolbert into a player. I'll be fair, man, because he ain't said nothing crazy. So it's just Sky Guy. I would definitely take Lamar Jackson and Brandon Aubrey in fantasy. But, you know, let me see who else you got. Judkins at flex. I don't know if I would have Montgomery there, because Montgomery is splitting carries and touches. So there's going to be times where he is not involved in scoring, and there's going to be times where he's not involved, you know, in the offense as much. And what we got to remember about David Montgomery, he's getting a little bit older at this point. I know that, you know, playing alongside Jahmyr Gibbs has extended, you know, his career, but he's 28 years old already. You know, like, running backs age in dog years. So maybe swap out David Montgomery for a younger back that, you know, is not seeing as much, you know, of a workload share. But outside of that, I think it's a decent fantasy lineup you got. But yeah, Loss, he ain't said nothing crazy, so I can at least answer the question for the young man. It's cool, it's Gucci. But yeah, we need a running back and we need a defensive tackle. If they're willing to give you that straight up, cool. If not, and they only offer you picks for Jalen Tolbert, you can still take the picks and turn that into the defensive tackle or the running back you were looking for with another team. It's gonna take some willing and dealing, but you can get that shit done. You can get the return on investment that you want. Hey, listen, GM Jerry cannot be trusted. You can't trust GM Jerry. But, you know, I'm just pointing out that the shit can be done. Like, you can get some trade value, you know, from Jalen Tolbert, you know, because a lesser wide receiver, an older, less productive wide receiver, had a pretty good return on investment. Jalen Tolbert's younger. He's more productive than Von Vele, or however you say the young man's name. Henny, are we raw? What were you trying to say, Iceberg? Henny, are we raw? R-A. Listen, I just looked at young. If the R-A is like, you know, like short for something, I don't know it. You know what I'm saying? So, what were you trying to say, brother Iceberg? But I appreciate you for sliding in and rocking with your boy. I definitely do. I definitely do appreciate you for rocking with me. Oh, I'm ready. Like, listen, I like Jalen Tolbert. He's a good dude. He came on the show. He's had some good moments in the NFL. He made some plays. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not acting like he's awful. But, you know, in terms of if you need to move on from him to get assets, if your thought process is I don't extend third wide receivers, you already got a bunch of wide receivers that can fill the role that Jalen Tolbert got. He's on an expiring contract. You know that you're not going to bring him back. So get something for him. You know what I'm saying? Because John Domingo injury is not severe, and John Domingo has another year left. You still got Kevontae Turpin for the next 3 years, this season, and then 2 more after that. So really, when you look around, do we really need Jalen Tolbert? Like I said, I like him. He's a good dude. He has potential. But yeah, dog. It's time. Like, I am more concerned about getting another quality running back in here so we can run the damn ball. are more concerned about getting another defensive tackle in here so we can stop the run and not get bludgeoned and ran off the field. You know what I'm saying? So I move him. Otherwise, the Dallas Cowboys are going to let him walk for nothing and then get a low tier comp pick. You know what I'm saying? And you won't even have that shit decided until next year. Like, you trade Jalen Tolbert now, you'll get assets you can use now. I agree. And listen, DJ Reader was one of my targets, you know, when he was on the open market. He was one of my targets when he was on the open market to begin with. He was one of the top run-stopping defensive tackles in the National Football League. You know, he was one of the centerpieces of that defense that helped the Cincinnati Bengals get to the Super Bowl. So if he becomes available and you compare him, you know, and you can pair him with Mozzie Smith, you might be able to do something on the interior. That'd be a very good rotation at the one tech spot, man. That's what I'm saying, man. One of the few rooms where you have a surplus of talent is your wide receiving room. Like, how many teams can say they can offload their team leader in receiving touchdowns and sleep peacefully at night? That is how talented the Dallas Cowboys wide receiver room is now with the George Pickens trade. Because CeeDee Lamb was already an established All-Pro. He's a top 3, top 4, top 5 wide receiver in the National Football League. George Pickens is like a top 15, top 20 wide receiver. Kevontae Turpin is literally the fastest man in the NFL. If you check the GPS times, that checks out. Right? He's an All-Pro returner with big playability in the receiving game. Jonathan Mingo is a former top 100 pick, big body ex-wide receiver who hasn't had an opportunity to play with your All-Pro quarterback yet. So there's real enthusiasm about seeing him play, seeing them build a rapport. And then you got guys coming up the depth chart like Ryan Flournoy, Trayshawn Holden. So you can definitely move on. You know, you can definitely move on from them. And I feel that you wouldn't feel the impact of it moving on from Jalen Tolbert like that, man. Yep. And listen, I mentioned those wide receivers. I didn't even mention the other players you could throw the ball to. Because at the end of the day, you know, Jake Ferguson is the third option in this offense. We know how much that Dak Prescott likes to throw the seam ball. We know how involved he likes to get the tight ends. They've always been the safety valve for Dak Prescott since he's been the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. So yeah, so a fourth wide receiver here means absolutely nothing. Like Jalen Tolbert, even if he was to stay, was not going to be involved like that. Especially with CeeDee Lamb out there, with Pickens out there. You might even prefer to have Kevontae Turpin over him at this point in time. Tyler Algier is a damn good running back. Because I think Tyler Algier already had a 1,000-yard rushing season. All right, so Tyler Algier is only 25 years old currently. He's still only 25 years old. He's 5'10", 225. Even though he shared carries last year, even though he had to share carries last year with Bijan Robinson, he still has 644 yards on 137 carries. So he averaged almost 5 yards a pop. Yeah, as a rookie, he ran for over 1,000 yards. He ran for 1,035 yards as a rookie. Averaged 4.9 yards a carry with a long of 44. So, yeah, you can sign me up for Tyler Algier. Yeah, so I'm not mad at it. Hey, I think we're actually going to do it this time around. They've been practicing it. What's up with you, Quan? Thank you for sliding in and showing love to the liquor store, man. Hey, everybody that just now making it into the liquor store, man, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that share if you care. And most definitely, slap the fuck out of an Eagles fan, man, because you know them niggas deserve it. But yeah, man, the Falcons will trying to trade Kweli. Believe me, you're not the only one. Like, I'm gonna put it to you like this, brother. I see the potential, but I ain't seen him put it together yet. You know what I'm talking about? I understand he got home run speed. I understand, you know, he has ability as a receiver out of the backfield. You know, I understand all that good stuff. You know, I understand he's a super good athlete and all the other good shit. But he got to put together the actual running back stuff. You know, I'm going to be real hard grading Jalen Blue. Because I said on the show earlier that I was not impressed by what I saw this last preseason game. I mean, that's fine. We ain't going to always agree on everything. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to always see things the same way. But for me personally, Jalen Blue is going to have to show me a little bit more before I jump on that bear wagon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I agree he got potential, but he got to put that shit together first. You know what I'm saying? He got potential. He just ain't did it yet. But let's see. I had some more stuff to talk to y'all about. Oh, that was what I was going to speak on. I was going to speak on this. So preseason's over. Preseason is over. You will not see anything else from Joe Milton unless Dak Prescott completely falls apart and disintegrates. You know what I'm saying? So it's over with taking a look at Bazooka Joe. But for the preseason, these were the metrics he's had. 65 passes, 36 completions, 458 yards, 3 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions. And I want full class participation on this one right here. Did you see enough from Joe Milton to not go out and add a veteran quarterback? That is a question I am posing to everybody in the chat box. And I want y'all to answer it. You know, and explain yourself too. Put it in there in the chat box, yay or nay, and explain why either way. If you want Joe Milton to be the backup quarterback, explain why. If you don't want to see the boy go out there, you know, say so and explain why as well. Because I'm trying to see something. I think it was okay. Could be better. My boy CJ, the original, said hell to the now. Let's see. Slim Cuddy said no. My boy ain't hell no. Okay. All right. Who else? What else? Keep them coming, man. I'm trying to see something. Where y'all at with Bazooka Joe? He said we not playing Madden. Yeah. Listen, I be going crazy with Jalen Blue on Madden. I actually said something similar, Iceberg, so I'm not mad at you for that. I really did say something similar a couple shows back, so I'm not mad at that thought process. I think I want a vet too. All right, we're gonna take it to a vote. I'm gonna let y'all, the patrons of the liquor store, decide on this, man. All right, let me go in here and put this shit together real quick. We're going to take this to a vote. We're going to take this shit to a vote. Hold on. We're going to start a poll. Who should be back up? Joe Milton. Weir Greer. Jameis Winston. Booyah. All right, so I got a poll up. Out of the 3 options I gave y'all, who do y'all want to be the backup quarterback? And the poll is over there on the YouTube page. So if you're not on the YouTube page, you're watching the show through Facebook, you can slide over there if you want to participate. Who would you prefer to be the backup quarterbacks for your Dallas Cowboys? Bazooka Joe Milton, a.k.a. Pop Gun, because that gun is for show. He ain't shooting shit and ain't nothing got blown up. Will Greer, or Jameis Winston, because he's somebody that might not make, might not make it over there with the Giants because they super deep at the quarterback position. So who it gonna be? Let me go up there and take a look, kinfolk. What you had said, Los Altos. Let me see. All right, he said, based off the decision making in the 3rd preseason game and the factor of shoddy scheming, chemistry with the offense, yes. But all those factors must rise. I mean, listen, it's fair. I don't think there's really wrong, because all this stuff, you know what I'm saying, is hypothetical. So if you want him in here or you want a veteran, there are no wrong answers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting y'all viewpoints on it. So if you say Joe Milton, there's a rational reason why you said Joe Milton. If you say Will Greer, there is possibly a rational reason why you said that. So you say J-Mo, I get it, because he got all the experience in the world. He's a former top pick in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? He got talent. He's just somebody that's going to throw the ball, to somebody else. J-Mo admits 30 for 30. Matter of fact, they need to really do the 30 for 30 on Jameis Winston for the season where he threw 30 interceptions and 30 plus touchdowns. That would be a good 30 for 30. I want to know what the fuck he was thinking and seeing when he did all that. I do agree with you. Rush did not look like a good quarterback. We just like the results, you know what I'm saying, that was out there. That's true. J-Mo turns the ball over and Rush doesn't. Now that's true. J-Mo, and that's really the difference between Jameson Winston and Cooper Rush. In both areas, though, I want to make that very clear. Like, Cooper Rush will not lose you a game for the most part, but he will not win you a game. Jameis Winston can lose you a football game, but you can also throw Jameis Winston out there and be able to win a football game based on his skill sets and what he does with how he pushes the ball down the field. Like, he's a high risk, high reward quarterback. Cooper Rush, you're going to have to run the football. You're going to use play action. You're going to have to get a screen game going. You're going to have to get the ball out of his hand. You're going to have to dink and dunk down the field. You're going to play good defense. You're going to have to beat a team 20-17 on the last second field goal. Jameis Winston, you fuck around and throw him out there. It depends on what Jameis Winston you get. He might throw 3 touchdowns. He might throw 3 picks. He might do both in the same goddamn game. But you know what? That will come with Jameis Winston. So it really depends on the kind of quarterback you're looking for and the kind of offense you're running. Because if you're just going to go out there and play a methodical ball control, long possession kind of offense and limit the overall impact of the quarterback to begin with, sure, the Cooper Rush kind of quarterback can work. But if you're trying to, push the ball down the field, get chunk plays, if you need to make plays outside of scheme, you know what I'm saying? Like when there's nothing there, you need to extend the play and make a throw down the field. Like that's when you get, something extra out of a Jameis Winston. Yeah, in fact, because listen, Fitzmagic was a similar kind of quarterback as Jameis Winston. When he's hot and he's on, he looks like a top 5 quarterback. When he is off, he looks like he don't belong in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like there's high peaks and there's low valleys with quarterbacks like Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick. You know what I'm saying? He said we always want a nigga with a cape. Jameis Winston would be very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? He a big personality. You know, he's a big personality. You know, he's exciting to watch play football. He do some stupid shit, but he also makes some amazing plays from time to time. So if you did bring in Jameis Winston, you know, Jameis Winston, it'd be much watch TV. If he had to play, like I am hoping and praying that Dak Prescott plays in 21 football games this year, the regular season, the postseason, and the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm praying for. You want a fantasy football league with Fitz? He was going crazy then. But yeah, I would definitely get a veteran quarterback. I ain't gonna hold you. I get a veteran quarterback, and I can still have Joe. The only person that will get kicked off the island is Will Greer. That's the case, because I can have Jameson Winston and Joe Milton out there, you know, in my quarterback room, and you know, just call it a day. He said, give me Joe Burrow and a DT. Shit. I ain't mad at that, man. But look, I didn't want to go live because I got stuff to do. I ain't going to hold y'all. So I didn't want to jump on here for a little bit and get y'all some content. But if you enjoyed the content, you know, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the sub for the love, and join the club in the liquor store. And listen, if you want to help keep the lights on and support the United Negro College Fund, all you got to do is hit $ Henny the More on the Cash App. Because we will make content for food. But we do appreciate y'all for everything that y'all do. God bless y'all. And in the words of my cousin West Coast, never look down because the stall